Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And I'm reading the minutes.
You mean you didn't read it?
I sent them to
Looking
you.
at the pictures.
I can make out most of the words. The short ones.
The 3-letter ones?
The 3 letters. Sometimes 4 letters.
Well, that's better than last year.
100 really.
Do I need to sign, is this on the agenda to sign?
That's all the stuff that's on the agenda, yes.
And they look good. I haven't seen anything stands out.
Am I portrayed in a good light? in the-
No, that's why I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're gonna make a
Just the
motion?
military.
I'll make a motion, we approve the
Yep,
amendment.
just the military.
What do you
I'll
think?
second it.
Okay.
But you'll second it based on Mike's.
I'll second based upon Mike's
So if the
recommendation.
minutes are messed up, it's Mike Goffney's fault, just for the record.
Yeah, note that in the minutes.
We're so professional. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
There was only one little thing I was gonna check.
Ah.
And that is because I had asked Bonity to correct that one item about the DEQ and the Waltz property.
No,
And I
you didn't-
mentioned.
you didn't ask me, you asked Gary Lynn, because those are Gary Lynn's.
Oh, that's
minutes.
right, it was. I figured Gary Lynn.
You're off the hook.
Oh, shit. Excuse me for
What the hell?
making a bad
Gary Lynn,
call
get in
here.
here.
Yeah, Gary Lynn's wobbling.
The only thing is that I did not get the letter written for Chairman Pancratz to send to DEQ to request information on the Waltz property. Just an update,
Okay.
because I had talked to that Pam with Tetra Tech, and she had the DEQ
Oh, you were saying
website, and
that,
she was
yeah.
looking for it. Says it's not even on here. So in order for us to release it, DEQ to release it, if we write them a letter just asking them for an update on that property, then they'll respond to us, and then that's the end of that.
What property is this?
The Waltz property, or the Waltz, old Mr. Wiggum
Starter
Gusper.
generator shop.
Oh, that one right on
Yeah.
12 way down there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's to get the DEQ report that they
Right.
don't have any hydrocarbon
Since we got to the end of
contaminants.
the month, we're in trouble with Bruce.
Oh,
Yeah, we
He
gotta
sent us a
start.
letter saying we got to the end of the month, that there's something about building.
Yeah, boy,
We know-
we better move.
He does not bluff either.
but it's not our building.
It is. The
It-
county's-
It's the county's?
Yeah.
The Waltz? Yeah, we
Tax
took,
default.
Oh,
Well, did we officially agree to take it? You know, we don't have to put it on.
That's
the
true,
minutes.
we do.
So what's going on now? Guys?
well, I checked with, I checked with Darcy, and she says we have it.
The Waltz property down there was an old filling station.
Okay.
We had a couple come in with sheds,
Flancha.
Lynch.
oh, Quaker.
And
Cheers.
they came in wanting to buy it, which
Okay.
is great, we'd love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was old filling station, so it had a buried fuel tank.
Right.
And we talked to, Dorothy Waltz is buried in my cousin Glenn,
Okay.
and she knew all about it. She said, she told Glenn that they, 30 years ago, maybe 35 years ago, the DEQ said, if you fill it with sand, we'll release it. And they
Okay.
had a release saying it's perfectly safe, but they can't find the release. So,
Okay.
but it's filled with sand, it was not removed.
So, and this property is owned by the county.
It's owned by the
We
county.
just got it last
Yeah.
August.
We just-
So what, on a tax deed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There is a process where we don't necessarily have to take
Yeah.
it on the tax deed, especially if we think it's.
Are you to refuse? Yeah, so I mean, unfortunately, that was before my time. My advice to you guys would have been, don't take it on a tax deed, just,
Because of
Yeah.
the potential hazardous material.
well, yeah, you don't want to be responsible for the cost of assisting in cleaning it up, because then
I'm
your
not
name's
sure,
on the
I'm not
file.
sure where that opportunity, should we get Darcy in here?
Wait, help me out here, what do you mean you're not sure where that opportunity?
Well, we may still have time to not take it on the tax deed, because I'm not sure we officially took it on the tax deed.
Okay,
She gives us a letter like right
Yeah.
before the end of the year or something.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, don't take it on the tax deed. Like,
Okay,
I mean, if there's a way to avoid taking possession of that property,
Then it becomes
case
the
in,
city's problem, I heard.
oh, that's a shame for them.
We can't do that.
Sure you can. You know, I'm gonna point you to, they had a similar case that went on in Powell County where there was some contaminated soil at an old railroad junction over there. And at some point in time, the county had taken that back from the railroad. And it got to the point where the contamination was leaked into various other groundwater. And so
Getting around better.
I can't remember whether it was the Army Corps of Engineers was, you know, we're saying clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. If you don't clean it up, we're gonna do it. And finally, they just sent in a bunch of folks from the Army Corps of Engineers and turned around and they built a county like $150,000, like, and you're paying it, or else. Okay, and so the answer is, you know, hey, whose property is this? We're sending somebody in to clean it up. Ain't mine. Well, it's in your county. Our name's never on the title. You're gonna wanna go after whoever it was who owned it.
There you go, and he's dead.
Well, no,
that's a
it's
shame.
good advice, it may be a moot point, but I didn't think we had expired, I'm gonna grab
Okay.
this real quick.
We took the Farmers Union million in taxes, I guess, because it was like 15 or 16 years ago. And they're still.
Right. And it's still going on
Sent
forever.
the text down there this morning, getting ready to.
And occasionally there'll be an option to clean up stuff like that. Well, there'll be a grant available where it's like, okay, well, county, if you take it over, then you'll
You can
qualify
get
for this grant to clean it all up, at which point in time you say, you know what, sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, well, this was a grant, it's an ongoing grant, but it's been going for at least 15 years.
Right,
Longer
But-
than I've been
And
here.
it's
but
cash
absent,
cow protector that.
right, but absent some
Mike,
kind
you
of
need to
a
read this.
grant opportunity, you don't wanna get your name in that chain of title.
Yeah.
Well, that's good advice, it may be moot, but also, we don't know that it is contaminated. We're researching.
Well, if they have a release from the DEQ,
Yeah, so it's not,
Doesn't the DEQ have a record?
well, they should.
well, that's what we're talking about, is getting that record,
Trying to get that,
I'll
right?
be darned.
But,
but we can reapply.
Okay.
but absent having that record,
Don't do it.
don't do it,
Yeah.
It's not worth the risk.
yeah.
If we can still get out of it.
We'll find our
We might have
office.
missed that. The way it is it's taken off the tax roll by exception. In other words, she produces a list of defaulted
Mhm.
that are going on in the counties.
Yeah,
But they're like, we did a list of exception, because now somebody can get it on tax deed
mhm,
if they want. We excluded the Weir building so that we could buy the Weir building. So,
okay.
it was the same issue though, having to deal, taking on a liability. All right, what else we got?
Meetings, no, not yet.
Any meetings? We did have meetings.
We had one yesterday. Took
Good
us
one.
a whole day.
And it was with the,
Montana Natural Resource Council, right? Or
Yeah.
With Mako.
what was it? It was MRNC, Montana Natural Resource Council. And it was a beauty of a meeting.
wait, MNRC?
And
Yeah. M is in Montana.
Yeah,
M, Natural Resource. Let me see.
council.
And the topics we talked about, which kind of affect us, one of them is the American Prairie Reserve.
Yep.
And then the other one is the status of grizzly bears and environmental impact statements and,
give her that.
oh, yeah, I like this.
That's what it was.
Mike's just showing that he's saved his documents.
Okay.
He does save documents, they don't all go into the garbage.
Just the ones that I need.
Only the ones that
You
you
can
know.
all hear my filing system.
All right,
Filing
what
system's
other,
moved over here. That's what's
Oh, yeah,
wrong.
that's what's wrong.
what other meetings did we have? We had,
LEPC, I had that one on
okay,
Tuesday,
that counts.
yeah. And mostly, it was all RIDE, they talked about RIDE. The right people were there.
Yeah, what the hell, other than the refuse.
Huh.
Refuse, I had the refuse meeting.
Tuesday.
Well, and so did our county attorney.
Well, I heard that was a great meeting.
He was a,
Yeah.
I missed it, cause I went to, first on Wednesday, I went to we had a Roundup Reach roundtable where we voted on who was gonna do the feasibility study for the, what are they calling that, Bear Collins, Mike? What are they calling it?
well, they're,
The committee you put together for Bear
well,
Collins?
they don't have a name yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
They'll
they have,
call
they're
them-
gonna make, they have to make a name, they have to
Okay,
choose a
got it.
name.
Well, the Bear Collins area, and we voted to have Great West. Great West had they both, it was WWC and Great West, they both had excellent proposals. Great West is involved in our mitigation planning for the river, and, they seem to be a better fit for that project. And then, I went to the Sentinel meeting, in Lewistown, where they're talking about the Sentinel project, Department of Defense to the Army Air Force, I guess. And, that's moving along briskly, and that may kind of result in secondary opportunities for our community, because that's just a massive project.
Oh, boy.
So I'm really excited about it.
When was that?
That was Wednesday, the 14th.
I did go to the Bull Mountain Landowners Association meeting, but when I got there, they had canceled it.
They seen you coming.
They told you they canceled.
Well, and I had to go through, I went up Fatty Creek Road, and I'm telling you, I barely got there. I almost turned around and says, I'm not going to this damn meeting. Cause it was so, that road was unbelievably bad. You wouldn't have made it with a car, no way.
And
But
that's
anyway,
because of the
it was canceled because of that.
What was the cause of the road being bad? Was it just rain?
It was because the county had done such a job of bringing all this material from the borrow pits into the center of the road, and there was this much mud.
Sinking.
Was it bad timing? Or, I mean, because
The
that's
county
what they
should- It was
do.
just a little bit too aggressive on the county side. That's something I'm gonna.
Well, I've heard that complaint before.
Yeah.
Well, we are
Just
having a
little too
road
much.
department meeting on Monday.
Yeah.
So,
There is, okay.
yeah,
I don't see, nobody could have gone out of, if you lived on Fatty Creek Road, you would not have left with a car.
Well, complain to your commissioner.
Well,
Well, we'll
you know,
let you-
I understand what he's trying to do, and I would support putting a crown on the road, but not at that level.
Okay. I think that's it. Anything
good,
else?
because it's time.
All right,
This
for
needs
public
turned,
comments?
well, this needs turned on.
Oh, yeah.
See, on a D, if you weren't here,
Ooh, what's on Netflix?
yeah, I think there's a good Westerns channel here, Matt Dillon.
Well. We got quite a good business.
We do, we do.
Doesn't show that anybody else is here, but anyway,
Just us old fat guys.
yeah, I'm gonna open for public comment. Is there any public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda? Would that be, all right, you're up.
Hi,
Are you
my
done?
name is Frank Kelly, District Commander and Commander of the local American Legion Post 18. I got a call on, well, it came to our attention on Wednesday at our meeting that somebody was trying to get maps and names, and she used to live here. She now lives in the Seattle area, but she comes back every year to put flags on the veterans' graves.
Okay.
And what is your name again?
Bonadie Hagstrom.
Bonnie
Bonadie.
Bonadie. Bonadie just
Bonadie.
gave me the whole
Said it
list of
right,
names.
That's not fair.
Pretty cool, thank you.
Yeah.
That is a cool name. She just gave me a whole list of names, and we've been on our own, not knowing anybody's got a list.
Okay.
Well, this hasn't probably been updated in a minute.
Well, we're gonna update it for you here real quick, cause we've been going and there's been 6 different groups going out. 2 groups per cemetery each time we go out, and we're writing down every veteran's name, the branch of service, date of birth, date of death. And because we wanna put another stone up at the memorial
Oh, okay.
with a bronze placard that's big enough
Understood.
that can last for another 30 or 40 years, to put little name placards of each vet that passes away from Muscle Shell County only.
Okay.
That's who my post serves. My district handles, I oversee 3 or 4, 5 counties in my district. So I do a lot of traveling, and I got the rest of the counties doing the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So we've been going out writing down everybody's name. We have every veteran that's in the cemetery on the way out on Highway 12. We have every veteran's name in that cemetery already documented. That we've all written them down. We walk around every single gravesite. Whether they're vets or not, we're making sure that these people are associated somehow. And the veteran spouse, and that's the reason we do the veteran spouses for our auxiliary units.
Okay.
So whether they're male or female, whoever the vet is, their spouse also gets documented, so we can recognize them and put a flag on that one too. Cause they put up with us when we were in the service for however long. So this woman was having an issue and contacted Gary Lee, Marine Corps League, VFW, and the American Legion. And I just said I'd be here. They asked me to be here, and this woman wanted to be at this meeting. I don't even know who she is, and I'm still kind of vague on what exactly she wanted. But like I said, you just gave me every name that we needed, plus what we find. We're gonna cross-reference it, and we'll add to it whatever we have to add to it on a separate sheet. I will personally bring it to you and make sure we can update them. I guess the only other thing is there any way that we can get, from the air, get a picture of each cemetery?
Oh,
You could hit up Justin with
That can be arranged.
we've got a drone.
Just,
Yeah.
Justin Russell.
Russell with
D.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
okay, I know Justin.
We got a drone and
And
they
it
would
takes,
love to help you.
takes wonderful pictures.
It does.
Well, if we can just get a picture, an aerial shot of each cemetery in Muscle Shell County,
Yeah.
which is Melstone, Muscle Shell, Roundup, there's 2 of them, one on the way out of town, and for me, it's in town, out of town. And somebody mentioned something about a small graveyard just outside of town, and I thought it was in a different county, so I wasn't paying attention really at that point. But I can't figure out, I drove up 87, and the first cemetery I saw, a small one, on 87 is way out of this county.
Yeah.
So we don't handle that.
Understood.
Well, my post does not handle that.
Yeah, there might be a personal cemetery.
Yeah,
That's what I'm wondering, if that's what they're talking about. But if there is a vet in that cemetery, I'll go knock on somebody's door.
Mhm.
I'll find out who owns the land. I'll go knock on the door and I'll get their name written down. They may have been born right being Roundup. I don't know.
Yeah.
So if the vet passed away in Muscle Shell County, he's a vet of Muscle Shell County, as far as we're
Oh,
concerned.
yeah.
So we'll put his name on a plaque too. That's the only reason we're doing what we're doing. I had no clue that you had this many names. And for your records, there's more than 400 living veterans here in this county. There's 2,500. I don't care what your records tell you, we know how many of us are left.
That's
And we
what I
only
was
have-
told. They
we-
had people dispute that, I know, that was what I was told.
You can dispute it, I just got off the phone with the guy who knows where everyone is.
Yeah,
We have one World War II vet left. And we
yeah.
were talking about that, he's gotta
Yeah,
be,
Koonsman,
yeah, he's gotta be like 100 years old or
mine was at
older.
least 103.
Who is he?
Koonman?
Hmm.
Ken Koonman's dad, I think it's Larry Koonman.
I'll be darned.
He had a hell of a story, he was in the Battle of the Bulge, he
Yep.
was in the action
Yep,
in World War II.
I'll be
he
darned.
was in more than just the Bulls.
I know.
Trust me,
He's
if we could video, if we could get them on video just for historical purposes here for this county, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest with you, I wouldn't sit down with you to video what I went through. I wouldn't, I just don't talk about it,
okay.
so. But, thank you, and I just wanted to make you all aware that somebody outside our county
You must
is
have
like
been
upset or
upset.
something.
Well, I talked to Mary Hoyland.
Oh,
Okay,
I spent a lot of time talking to her the other day, and so that's what prompted me to get a hold of Linda Yount.
yeah,
And but Linda lost her sister. She's been taking care of her. She had cancer, and her sister passed away, and now she's having to deal with that. And Linda says, "I have those maps." She says, "They're not up to date. I'm trying to get them up to date."
okay,
But she had the maps for the Roundup Cemetery.
right,
But it sounds like that one is up to date. Her records are not, but this one is.
I'll
She does
cross-reference what we wrote down.
yeah,
Because we buried 5 people in this past year.
yeah.
That were veterans in that cemetery. So. And the last one was we had 2 World War II vets, and the one just passed away, that's why we only have one
Yeah.
left. So, outside of him, I don't know who else was a vet that was buried, because we're the ones that get the call for having the color guard, the honor guard, and the rifle team out there, and we all do it together, so.
Sure.
Even if it's a dignitary of the city or the county, yes, we have to honor them that way, because you are a dignitary. You're a council member, you're the mayor, it doesn't matter. You're considered a dignitary, and you get the same thing. Despite what you think you're supposed to get, that's the proper way to bury a dignitary,
I'll be
is
darned.
color guard and honor guard.
Yes, it is.
It's no different than a senator, US congressman, US senator, state legislators.
Yeah,
You're
we don't
still
care
part
about-
of the government.
We don't care about that.
Well, I don't either, that's why I'm here in Roundup.
So much for my political aspiration.
Oh, no, we'll change the blinds out, if you go the other way, we'll switch them out.
Well, what
Can I borrow
Linda
your
told me
rifle? No.
was that she cannot find the maps for the Klein, the 3 out of Klein. And Bonaday and I were just talking about that this morning.
Okay.
Someone else has them and we don't know who. They're not here.
There,
So we're gonna
there,
have to,
there are maps here,
Are
I just looked.
oh, okay.
I just don't know if they were the originals or what, so I will look more into it.
We'll just
Okay.
update them anyway, I mean, like I said, with all the names that we're collecting for vets,
Right,
I can come back in and like I said, I'll cross-reference them with, Ron Carson and Gary Lee from the other 2 veterans organizations. We'll cross-reference them and have on a separate sheet of paper which cemetery they're in. And if we can, there's gotta be somebody who's in charge of those cemeteries with the plot numbers,
Claudia Pellin,
okay?
someone, yeah,
Claudia Pellin, and Linda's been helping Claudia.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, so, well, like I said,
They-
I'll
and
give you an
they
updated list we got.
They need help too, so, yeah, it's,
I wonder how many of them gravestones don't note that they were a veteran. Cause I was thinking about My father's buried in Billings, and he was a veteran, and never got the honor guard, he never got it, it's not on the gravestone that he's a
What year did
veteran.
he die?
94.
He should have had a full military honors.
I know.
You have an honorable
It was
discharge?
something I really felt bad about, because my sister's having a funeral, and they didn't have, I said, where's the honor guard? And my sister said, was he in the service?
Do you realize that he
You'd have
could
to
have
know
been
my sister.
buried, he could have been taken care, oh, I shouldn't be, he could have been
But
taken care of.
I have an Uncle Wesley buried in that cemetery, and I'm just wondering if his gravestone says anything about him being a
If you
World
get,
War II
if
veteran.
you can get me his military records,
Yeah,
I can get a grave marker and a flag.
okay.
Same with your father.
That's what Dad always said, boy, he said, I get a free cross when they die.
That's right, well, they get a plaque. Now they'll issue a bronze placard about that big.
Really?
It goes right in, right at the head of the grave.
Frank, I reached out to Justin Russell, our coordinator with DES, and I sent him your contact information, and one of their pilots is gonna contact you about getting aerial photographs of the cemeteries.
Oh, he just drove down there.
Well, yeah, I know, but I wanted to make sure everything was
I
smooth
mean,
as
this town
possible.
is so big, I might get lost, but
He's good, they got your number, somebody's gonna contact you, but you can go down there too.
See?
You're ignoring the power of our county attorney.
Yes, he just very organized. Very
Yes.
organized.
he's a good shot too, you know. Be careful. He shot that turkey, he just laid down.
He's very much appreciated.
Yes,
Oh,
and feared.
I am afraid of him, except when he got a shotgun in his hand. He did, he hit that bird, it was down. But honestly, just to finish up what I was getting at,
Yeah,
we'll update what we get, and I will bring it directly to you personally. So you have what we cross-referenced
that'd be good.
and who's newly buried since this stuff was however old it is, it
Gotcha.
doesn't matter. I will bring you that list.
Okay, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
But if this woman gets in touch with you, I just came here to give you a heads up if she wasn't here. I don't even know.
I'll call her back, cause I have her phone number.
In Seattle?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mary Horland.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that Mary is from Seattle now.
That's not, well,
She
she
said
was,
she was-
she was
she
born
was
and
gonna-
raised here.
Yeah, she was coming back this weekend, or this week, she said.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah, cause Memorial Day's next Monday,
Yeah.
Right.
next month.
She wanted to be here for like 10 days or so.
So, do I talk to the city about putting the flags out for Memorial Day?
They usually do, don't they?
I'm just checking the,
Well, you
Oh,
check
you're
with the
talking
city,
about
we
here
don't
on
know.
Main Street?
Yeah, and that wouldn't be
Yeah.
us. I
That's the
would-
city,
what
right?
it
Yeah, that is the city.
It'd be a good idea if you went down there and talked to them. And I know they'll let you.
well, I'm making sure I'm covering my butt and I'm doing it the right way. 'Cause I've been going through the history of our post and there were some things that were done and I ripped into these guys that, who told you you could do this kind of stuff? Well, Frank, nobody said we couldn't. I said, oh, so that makes it right? So if I take you over to the bridge that crosses over the Muscle Shell River out here heading out of town, hang you by your feet and drop you in, just 'cause it's water, I can drop you in, it's okay? And you're like, well, that's pretty stupid. Exactly. And then, then it
I
clicks.
don't know, it might be a good idea.
Some of these guys I'd like to be honest. And just so you know, this is the first time in Muscle Shell County's history that you have a district officer from Muscle Shell County.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until they said, well, he quit, you're in, and I'm like, no, yeah. And they said, oh, by the way, the Ghost Post commander is now the commander of the district. You're the first district commander out of Muscle Shell County.
Hmm.
And I went, huh? Yeah, you better behave. That's what he told me.
24 veterans here,
Huh?
2,400 veterans here. We've got,
That's why when that memorial got damaged, maybe you guys already know about it. The judge added onto his sentence 30 hours of community service to the American Legion, the VFW, and the Marine Corps League, and the city guys that are gonna be replacing everything.
Mhm.
So,
I think we heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, one of the vets in my post